What's up, One Name family? Thanks for tuning in today. And this is a real faith conversation. We've been doing some of these with a lot of people in the community, but we're going to take a lot of our real faith conversations and bring them to our church and really get to talk to a lot of our family today. So I'm excited about today. We have Pastor Miguel with us. What's up, Pastor Miguel?
What's up, man? How are you?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Doing great.
We're matching shirts here. You can't see us if you're listening, but if you're watching, we're matching shirts. Represent the Elevate shirt right here, third birthday turn up. But I'm excited. Pastor Miguel and his wife, Pastor Lena, have been pastors for less than a year, going on a year now. God has just called them to pastoral ministry, and he's been an amazing friend of mine and has been with our church since the beginning. And I'm just excited to have this conversation today. And we're going to take this conversation from what we talked about at our home team night. And God just really put on our heart, one of our values is unity is our core.
That's right.
And God really put on our heart to talk about this. You know, our word of the year is elevate, and we're talking about how we can elevate as a church. And every time you elevate, go to the new level, there's a new devil. So we're going to talk today about just how God has been speaking to us. You know, we've been spoken to, me and Pastor Miguel, in dreams. God has been speaking dreams to us about our church. There's been spiritual warfare and attacks against us. You know, we were in the Dominican Republic with a missions team, and we were doing that. Me and Pastor Miguel were texting. So we're going to talk about that. And I just want to start off with our conversation, Pastor Miguel, that we had. What was it? You know, I think we were just talking one day after an amazing day at church. God moved, the Holy Spirit was there. And on that Monday after church, I just felt like
you had a vision.
Yeah, God had a vision. Yeah, remind me, God had a vision, and it was just about just dreams of people in our church that we saw some breakthrough happen, but there's still people on our team and there's still people in our church that were leaving demonic doorways open. And what it was is I was in this dream. It was like a long hallway, and there were a bunch of doors. And I was going down this hallway, shutting the doors. I was going down this hallway, trying to shut these doors, and there were demons coming and trying to get into these doors. And when I realized in the dream, it was people in our church. It was people on our home team. And I was closing the doors, and then I saw you come in and Pastor Keith and our pastoral team, and we're just trying to shut the doors, and God really showed us that. And then what he said and what I saw as I was shutting doors is some people were leaving the doors open. And they were mad that we were shutting the doors. They were like frustrated at us, like, what are you doing? Yeah. Why are you shutting the doors? And then some people weren't locking the doors. Some people were just leaving the doors open, but the doors were shut. And it just gave me this visual picture that the spirit of error, the spirit of the enemy was coming in, and really they were thinking they were aligned and thinking they were kind of running after God, but they were still bound in chains. And God just showed me that my heart was just broken for our team, and that the vision was that there was demonic doorways open. This is what I remember texting you, that demonic doorways, and how some people are leaving them open because they think it's God and it's okay, but it's not. It showed us going and having to shut these doorways, like I said. But I saw, you know, it was people were shutting us down, but I saw the Holy Spirit with us.
Come on.
And once the doorways were shut, freedom reigned. And then I just was like, pray for strength, because I didn't. And then you commented back, like, I love it because we were aligned and God was speaking to you as well, right?
Yeah. Actually, even entering into this new year, I was looking up like what the next Hebrew year was going to look like. And when I was looking at it, it became obvious, and it was confirmed really through other pastors, like this is the Hebrew year of the door.
Wow.
And, you know, as I was thinking about that, God started revealing to me that, we look at the door and we think it's open for all the blessings and all the things that we're going to get. They're going to be great, phenomenal. But we got to remember that works both ways. See, what you get,
Wow.
the other enemy can also try to come in as well and try to steal those very things that you just received from that door. So, I believe this is a year of new floors, new doors.
Amen.
And but with that in mind, we also have to be aware that there have to be watchmen at those doors, because if we're not watching those doors for what might come through to try and steal, kill, and destroy the very calling, the very visions and things that have been given to us, when we open those doors, we can put ourselves or place ourselves in a place of just an open target. Like, it'll be like, shooting ducks if we're not prepared.
So good. Yeah, and I think that's really what God aligned our hearts on, and He really showed us that we have to be ready, and it's asking, if you're watching, if you're in the home team, we love you. Usually you're the ones on the front lines getting attacked first. If you're part of our church, we love you. Join the home team. But we spoke to our home team about this, and I asked the question: Are you guys watchmen? Can you be watchmen with us this year? Because I really do feel like God's taking our church to the next level. But what's happening is there's always going to be an attack. There's always going to be the enemy coming, like you said. And we need watchmen to shut the doors. So that's why I titled this little conversation that we're having, Shut the Door. Unity is our core. Come on, somebody.
Let's go.
Shut the door. Unity is our core. And as God gave us this vision, I want to challenge you are listening, if you're the home team, if you're a part of our church, that it's time to shut doors. Like, we have to shut doors or the enemy is going to get in. The enemy loves to sneak in when we least expect it. He loves to come at us when we're not ready. And I just think it's ready for us. We have to shut the door. One of the ways that we shut the door, one of the ways the enemy tries to come at the church, come at the team, is division.
Yeah.
He likes to divide and conquer. So one of the ways that we defeat this and shut doors is having unity. And I said, God is going to take us higher this year, but if we're not careful, as we ascend, there might be some casualties because we're not connected to each other.
Right.
There's not the core of unity, right?
That's correct.
And I just think, as we talked about it, the enemy's strategy is division. His tactic is offense. His goal is bitterness and unforgiveness. And he just wants to divide and conquer. He wants to come into our team.
Yep.
He wants to have pettiness happen. He wants to have disagreements and frustration. He doesn't just do that on church teams. He does it in your family. He does that in your life.
Right.
He does that in every area. Have you seen that, Pastor Miguel?
Yeah, actually, and it's never going to be something that's obvious. It's always going to be something small or simple that you don't even realize until it starts adding up. I think we spoke about this actually on Sunday, where we're talking about small foxes, and the more the small foxes get into that cave, the more they take over, and it's very hard and kind of suffocates what you're allowing God to try and pour into your life. It kind of cuts that off. So it's being very aware of those little things that can come in and to kind of tear that away from what God really wants to do in you and through you, because small foxes, man, we think that it's not going to be an issue, but when it adds up, it's tough and a lot harder to kind of get out of that.
Right, and usually the devil doesn't always come in the big things. He comes in, like you said, those small foxes. So when usually on church teams, just the little things can create the division. It's kind of like when you're rowing upstream, and you have two boats and you're rowing up together and you're together, but someone is slightly off and then you start to drift a little bit. And you're drifting the other direction, and that's what can happen. So that's why it's important. There's so many scriptures in the Word of God that talk about unity, and not just unity, but unity in the church, unity in the body. And I want to talk about that because I think that's important. This is how we shut the door. And I'm going to read some of these in Acts, when the early church was growing, 3,000 people, all the believers were together and had everything in common. And that didn't mean we all got along, it's like we all liked the Miami Heat or something.
Right. Yeah.
It's not that. It's they just came to the middle ground and chose, hey, we're gonna run after the vision. And Acts 4 says this: the whole family of believers was united as one. One heart, one mind. They didn't even claim ownership of their own possessions. No one said, that's mine, you can't have it. They shared everything. The apostles gave powerful witness to the resurrection of the Master Jesus, and the grace of God was on them. Philippians 2 also said, it says this, if you've gotten anything out of following Christ, if you love has made any difference in your life, if being in the community of the Spirit means anything to you, if you have a heart, if you care, then do me a favor. Agree with each other, love each other, be deep-spirited friends. Don't push your own way. Forget yourselves long enough to have helping hands. See, the enemy is not afraid of a big church.
Right.
He's afraid of a united one.
Church. Yep.
He's not afraid of like 40,000 people gathering. You know what I mean? We've seen that happen. He's afraid of a united church. Yep. And I think where he gets in is he gets into the disunity of the church. He gets into the team. He gets into the, like you said, the little things, the little offenses of I don't like this song or I don't like this and I don't want to do that. And this person offended me and I didn't get an opportunity. And I just believe for our church as One Name Church, if we're going to go to the next level, we got to shut the door and make unity our core of who we are. We have to live by one mind, one principle. And I think that's where we go, right, Pastor Miguel?
That's right.
And I think it's so important, like Psalms 133, it says, how good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. How bad and unpleasant it is when God's people live together in division. Unity is important. And there are a few things that produce powerful results, but unity is one that produces a powerful result. So we got to say, united we stand, divided we fall. Unity is absolutely essential to effective teamwork, and not just in the church, but every area of life, because division breaks us down and unity builds us up. Pastor Miguel, where have you seen, how have you seen unity kind of take place in your life? Maybe an example of good unity and division. Maybe an example of that. Maybe to help our listeners and our watchers, One Name family. What is something that you've seen unity be lifted up? Like, hey, that's unified. When that happened, that's unity. And then when that happened, oh, that's division. What are some? Maybe there's an example that you have. You've been around the game a lot, so you know.
No, I would even dare say even just through our prayer team, that is a unified core.
It's good.
When we see, we've seen so many things. We've seen miracles. We've seen cancer driven away. We've seen a person with a 10% chance of living come back to life. He's walking now. He's a walking miracle. I mean, we've just been seeing God do so many things, and that's just through the unity of our prayer team. Because our prayer team, the beauty of it is, it's not that we're all the same, because sameness is not unity. What it is unity is understanding that, we believe God's word. We believe what it says. When God says by his stripes we are healed, we're believing that when we pray over somebody that they're going to be healed when we lay the hands on them. Even when it says in the Great Commission, go, I'm going to give you the power to do all these things, and that was one of them. We're seeing that happen. So that's unity there. Where we see division sometimes is, like you said, like just those little things, like, if someone doesn't like a specific song, or even I work in production and we hear, occasionally, one or two people like, oh, it's too loud, or I can't deal with this. And, but it's like, are you here for the noise, or are you here for the worship experience to have the presence of God that you're, so that's essentially what kind of drives division sometimes too, is you start to see like some other congregants or family members start to think like, well, maybe it was a little bit loud, and then it just starts kind of a ripple effect, and you start to kind of see how that affects everyone just from one little thing of, man, I think it was just too loud today. Yeah, you know what? You're right. It was too loud. Hey, we need to start turning this down, or hey, I'm not coming back to church next week because it's just too loud for me. Right. So you start to see that, and it's kind of sad, because really, are we there for the noise? Are we there for loudness, or are we there for the presence of God? Right. Because that's what we're there for. We're there for ultimately for the atmosphere and presence of God to be made manifest. The problem
That's
is
good.
too, like the whole reason why division is so bad is because it diminishes our witness.
That's good.
If you look at John 17, it's recorded that that's Jesus' longest prayer. And at the end of that, the tail end of that, he's praying, Lord, may they be one as myself and the Father are one.
Wow.
So, and then that, others would see that,
Yeah.
this is real because they're united just as we're united. But the problem is we're so disconnected and so divided that
Yeah.
it's creating a rift in the belief system now,
Yeah.
where no one really wants to believe because they think, well, there's a bunch of hypocrites here. They're divisive. They're believing that, one is more superior than the other. And it's like, if we can get back to the core of everything and be like, no, this is all about God and all about Jesus. We revolve around him.
Yeah.
We don't revolve around our own
good.
philosophies and our own interpretations of the Bible being more superior than the other, or because we have the right hermeneutics. But if we just go back to the center and go back to really the basic, the milk, if you would, and just understand that Jesus, first of all, is our purpose.
It's good.
Ever since the beginning of the age in Genesis, you'll read when God's talking about things being good, it's not until he provides purpose to those things that he says they're good. But
Yeah.
who provides the purpose is the word of God. And we learn in John 1:1 who the word is, because it says, in the beginning was the word was with God, and the word was God. And if you read a little bit further, it says nothing was created outside of that word. The word was there at creation, and he spoke into us. He spoke that life. So if we go back to that, we will understand what our purpose is, and from that purpose, we'll begin to find our unity again.
That's so good. And I think it's so important because, like you were saying, we can get caught up in our preference of how things need to be. But when you are called and your purpose is Jesus, everyone can be centered around that, and you die to your preference.
Right.
And it's not about that. We can figure things out together as a team. We can fix the loudness. We can do that, but we're not going to kill each other and not agree with each other, and not sit with each other and not love each other because of a preference. And I think it's so important. That's where we shut the door. We have to shut the door on those areas. And that's just an example. There's many other things, but we have to shut the door in those areas and understand, like you said, our purpose, and then do that. So I think this is so good. I think if you're listening, if you're watching, I think this is something you have to embrace and do. And we want to give a couple of things on what a united team looks like.
Yeah.
And if you're not on the home team, get on the home team. We're going to keep saying it. But if you're listening, this can be in your workplace. This can be wherever you're at. This can be in your family. I think this is a good test for your family.
Yeah, it is.
Like if you put this in practice. So I'm going to give us 10 signs that we can identify as hey, this is a united team, and then a sign of a divided team. And I said, this is what we want to do. Evaluate yourself, evaluate us as a team, because we want to do this and we want to live by this. We're shutting the door by doing these things, by making sure we're looking for these things. So number one, a sign of a united team is morale is high. It's high. That, morale is defined as confidence, enthusiasm, discipline of a person or a group or at a particular time. So having high morale means your team is confident. Our team is confident, enthusiastic, disciplined. These things are hard to measure, but they're easy to feel. It won't take much time with our team or your family, wherever you're at, to get a sense of the spirit of the group. High morale is a good sign of strong unity on a team. We need high. So when we're looking at our team, are they unified? Are they high morale? Is their spirits up? Because a sign of a divided team is morale is low.
Right.
They're coming in like, oh my gosh.
They're dragging their feet.
They're not excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, how can, so we got to have high morale, right?
Yep.
So what are something that you've seen high morale real quick? Like, hey, this is high morale. When you see people with energy, right?
Yep.
I think we see that at our church as well.
I mean,
Are you
even
coming in excited?
Yeah, even our youth coming in at 6 o'clock in the morning. You would think being
that
teenagers,
builds the morale.
All right, they're coming in, they're excited. As a matter of fact, one of them told me that I love serving. Like it's just so much fun. So that's high morale. That's good for the leader too, to know that you're actually producing that, because you're just creating that atmosphere where you're pouring into them, and you're just creating that lifestyle of fun. Because fun is a lifestyle. It's not
Yeah.
So we want to make sure
So
that, you know,
good.
we're providing that so that we build
That's
the
one
morale.
way to build high morale is
Yep.
have fun as well.
Yeah.
Church is not always supposed to be boring. Yeah, we're going to come in, we're going to fight, we're going to spiritual warfare, we're going to take things seriously, but we're going to have fun while we're doing
Right.
it. Because it's the greatest work that we can do. So we're coming in with high morale. So
Yep. We
that's
get to
good.
do this.
We get to do this. We don't have to. That's so good. We don't have to be here. We don't have to wake up early, but we get to. Number 2, a sign of a united team. Energy is on tap.
Yeah.
So we talked about, you know, high morale build, you know, energy builds high morale, but also energy is on tap. Teams are working in unity, seem to have an endless supply of energy. Where does it all come from? It is a result of a compound effect as people draw off one another. When we cut ourselves off from each other through division, we miss out on the energy that comes from bouncing ideas, sharing strategies, and refining one another's work. Collaboration multiplies energy on your team. A sign of a divided team is everyone is tired. Everyone is just like we said. So energy is important to build morale, but also energy just says, oh, there's something wrong here. Like we're not unifying together. And people are not talking to each other. They're not, you know, when there's unity, people are excited to be around each other, right?
That's right.
They're not like, oh my gosh, I got to be with Pastor Miguel today.
Yeah.
Like he's coming in and,
Right.
oh, I disagreed with him before, so I just don't want to even see his face. Right? So it's important to bring the energy, not just fake energy. You know, I'm not saying just go and yell at people's faces.
Right.
But like bringing, like you're excited, you're expectant to be in church. You're
Exactly.
expected to be serving today. So that's so important. You bring energy a lot. That's good.
I'm going to try, you know.
Right? Because even when you don't feel it, what do we say when we don't feel it? You faith it.
Yep.
Because, you know, some Sundays I don't feel like
Yeah.
getting hyped.
Yeah. We're trying to make that a slogan on a t-shirt, actually.
We got to do that.
Yeah, we got to do it.
But I think it's important. Energy's on tap. So
Yeah.
everyone's tired. So don't come in tired
Nah.
because that means you're disunified.
Bring the energy.
Bring energy. Number 3, sign of a united team. Laughter is nonstop.
Yeah.
If you're wondering if our team's united, pay attention to how much we laugh together. Are we laughing together? Laughter is the most powerful thing we can do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gives the credit to go, look, they're unified to each other. Don't underestimate its value on our team. Laughter is a sign that people are getting along,
Yeah.
right? You don't laugh with people you're mad at.
No.
If our team is laughing together, they're probably working together. A sign of a divided team, smiles are scarce. They come in looking like their days are horrible. Oh my gosh, look at my face. But I always check in our church, are we laughing?
Yeah.
Like when we're setting up,
Yeah.
when we're resetting, when we're serving together, are we laughing?
Mm-hmm.
If production team ain't laughing over there, what's going on?
Yeah,
You know, if worship
that's-
team ain't laughing, his hospitality team, if kids team, where's the laughter at? So this is a sign of a united team. And I think we have to shut the door of the negativity and use that, right? That's good.
That's right. It's really good.
We're going to go through these quick because we want
Yeah.
to make sure we're keeping your time here. 4 is work is a joy. We don't have to do this like you said. We get to do this. Our work is not a burden. What we do and serve the Lord, it's a joy. But it's hard to be joyful when you're in an argument with someone else. Conflict kills joy.
Yeah.
Unity brings work to life.
Yeah.
Sign of a divided team, work is a burden. So when we're checking the pulse of our team at One Name Church, are they enjoying the serving? Are they enjoying? I love being a portable church right now because you can tell if work is a joy because we physically have to set up the church every Sunday.
Yeah.
We physically have to do work because sometimes when you're working in a church and you have your own facility, you might not be able to gauge it. But we're gauging it by every Sunday. Are you excited to do this?
Yeah.
After 3 years?
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're not excited to do this after 3 years,
Right.
you have the wrong perspective, or there's a disunifying thing happening. There's a lack of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think work is a joy, not work is a burden.
Right.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, and joy is also a choice, too. So you have the choice to choose joy every time you come in and serve.
It's good.
So, like, if you're coming in and you're feeling depressed for whatever reason, I would much rather you just sit out for the weekend and actually
That's so
enjoy and
good.
get a word from God. Because what happens usually in that point is you've been kind of enduring some struggles, and you might not have been poured into that week. So
Yeah.
you're coming in with that, do I have to come in?
Right, yeah, I got to
In
do
the morning,
this.
I got to do this. No, if you come in like that, I'm going to sit you out and say, bro, just take the seat in service today and get poured into.
That's good.
Because we don't want you to feel like you have to do this. This is not a have to situation. You know, God's given so much that we get to do this. The fact
So
that I'm
good.
able to live and breathe and come in that morning. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning every week because I have to actually travel. But I love doing it. Like
Amen.
I love coming in, and I love being able to serve and being able to just kind of set things up and put puzzle pieces together. Like that's what I love to do. And the fact that, you know, in Colossians 3 it says to do all things as if doing it for God. You know, so whether it
and
be
especially,
your job,
come on, you're building the
you're
church.
building the kingdom
Physically.
look, and it doesn't have to be sowing just the seed. I mean, we want you to sow the seed, but we also want to be generous, you know, when you're serving your time and being able to come in and be like, hey God, I'm gonna build a kingdom by, you know, I'm gonna set up production today. Or I'm going to help the hospitality team today. I'm going to welcome people as they walk in. I'm going to shake hands with everyone as they walk into the door. Like it's not just
so
Family
good.
15. It's family service day all day, you know, and every day in the week. Like that's what kind of builds our joy up is getting to see others experience that love of God just through us, because we actually carry that with us where we go. But if you're struggling, you know, take a time to just sit in service and really just get poured into. We want to pour into you.
Yeah.
Because we don't want you to come in week after week feeling like you're dragging or you're crawling in and barely able to make it. Like we want you to come in running.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's so good.
So it's like Paul said, man, we run in this race, man. We're not crawling. We're not trying to just barely make it. I want to be running through.
What Pastor Miguel is saying, you will be benched if you come in. No, but it's true, because it's like we all got to be on top of it. We all got to be joyful. We all got to be ready and not see this as a burden. So good right there. Next thing is number 5, sign of a united team. Quickly is the speed. They're fast.
Love that.
Division slows everything down. It causes people to avoid one another. This is how we tell if we're shutting the door and unity is our core, to work around each other rather than be with each other, find another way to get it done. Like people are avoiding each other. I don't know about you, but I like to work fast.
Yeah.
I'm into getting things done. If you want to move faster, do everything you can to resolve the conflict and promote unity on the team. If things aren't getting done, there's not conflict resolution happening, because a sign of a divided team is slowly is the speed. And you're like asking, man, why does it take so long for them to accomplish that? And we're always evaluating, why does it take so long for them to get that done? Why they come in slow? And why is this should have been done? This is very easy, because when people are working together, it gets done faster.
Yeah.
So I think we have, like, when we're evaluating, when we're looking at that, and the same is for your life, is quick the speed. Am I getting this done quickly? So that's good right there. Number 6 is everyone takes responsibility. I love this, man. Everyone takes a sign of a united team. What we're looking for at One Name on our home team, and I think what you need to be looking for wherever you're at, is everyone takes responsibility.
Yeah.
It was my fault. I dropped the ball. I should have communicated more clearly. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Most poor teams disunified teams go, oh my gosh, it's you, man. Pastor Miguel, man. Can't believe you did that.
My bad.
Right? You know what I mean? And no one wants to serve with people that are always like pointing the finger at someone else. Yeah. We gotta take responsibility. These are powerful words to hear, but people are not this vulnerable with people. They don't trust or they don't trust people they don't like. So I just think it's like the closer our team can come together, the likelier we will be to take responsibility for our roles and own up to our mistakes. Yeah. When this level of ownership is and honesty is the norm, it's a good sign. Yeah. Because a sign of a divided team is everyone shifts responsibility. Everyone's going, oh, that's not me. That's that team. That's this team. Worship's like, oh, it all jacked up because it was the production team. Production teams like worship team, y'all can't sing on key. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But this happens. And I think it's just like those things happen, and this creates disunity. Yeah. And what does the enemy do? He doesn't really, he comes from within. And if he can get us at each other, not taking responsibility, pointing fingers, he's won, right?
Yeah. That reminds me of, obviously you could see I've been doing a Genesis study, but if you look at the very beginning with Adam and Eve, The enemy had us to kind of divide the two. But if it wasn't that the man was being so lazy and actually stepped in and actually provided and protected the woman as opposed to being separated. Because the thing is, like, being divided doesn't mean that we're not in the same room. We could be in the same room and be divided.
Yeah.
So the enemy was right there. It says when she took the bite, Adam was right there. Like, he saw the whole thing happen, but he didn't do anything. He was so stuck in his pride of just, let me let her have a moment and not step in and let him kind of talk. And like, it's crazy to me. And then the moment when it happens, the moment he takes a bite, both of you guys had to take a bite for the sin to actually enter the world, but he's blaming the woman. The first thing he does.
Right. So shifts responsibility.
Created the division right there. The divide was that. It was like, hey, no, she did it. She made me do it. No, bro, you took a bite too. Like, you've had an opportunity to step up here and you didn't step up. Like,
that's so good. That's such a great, that's the fall of man. That's how sin entered the world. And I think it's important that we shut the door to that, because that can very easily get into our teams.
Yeah.
Couple more things and then we'll wrap it. I hope this is helping you today. Is sign of a united team, tasks become missions. When people get caught up in minor conflicts and petty disagreements, they lose sight of the big picture. Meaningful assignments become Monday tasks. What they're doing becomes divorce from why they're doing it. A sign of a divided team is the missions become tasks, but a sign of a united team, tasks become, this is a mission. I'm on mission today. This thing that I'm doing, how I'm cleaning up here, how I'm serving, what I'm doing right here, this is my mission. I'm on mission to help people know Jesus, find family, discover purpose, and make a difference. Simple tasks become small pieces of a great mission. Sign of a united team also is this, number 8, is people talk directly to each other.
Yeah.
The quickest way to resolve conflicts is go directly to the person it involves. The fastest way to exasperate an issue is to talk around it.
Yeah.
Going to everyone except the person who can resolve it. Effective teamwork requires healthy communication. And healthy communication means speaking clearly, honestly, and directly to the right people about the right things. If people avoid one another for personal reasons, their work will suffer along with their relationships. A sign of a divided team, people talk about each other. Talk about it, Pastor Miguel. I think this is one of the most important ones of unity.
Ooh, yeah, that's like the bad weed that takes over the entire plant.
Wow.
So that one little, I remember, I'm gonna take this way back. I'm gonna go VeggieTales on this one. VeggieTales had an episode where it talked about the little weed, and this little weed ends up taking over the whole plant because it was called the rumor weed. And essentially, whenever you're creating gossip or you're not looking to directly, confront someone, what you do is you end up going behind their back and you start spreading the little seeds, and you start kind of spreading that weed, and that weed gets bigger because you're creating like this narrative that this person is absolutely wrong, and because you're doing it based on your perspective of what happened, but you're not taking into consideration the second part of that story. Until you actually understand the other part of the story, you're not gonna. It's not going to mesh, and you're going to create this issue, and then all of a sudden what's going to happen is going to be division where that person feels left out and out of place. And so that's not what we want to do here. We want to we want to confront that face up and say, hey man, I didn't really appreciate the way you spoke to me, or I didn't like the way that, you did this or whatever. And, stuff like that, like it helps, because then you don't know if that person it's just the way they lead, and they just might need a different perspective or way to understand you. I know a lot of management teams and places of work and employment, they have these little questionnaires to kind of help you understand the personality of a person, so you know how to manage them.
Right.
So
we do core motivations here.
Right. And sometimes in church atmospheres too, they don't have that opportunity to do that, and sometimes they don't take that opportunity to learn. So you're coming at it from a place of you're hurt, but you don't understand the place where they're coming from, where they're trying to lead, correctly. So it comes off a little bit wrong sometimes. So it's not until you actually approach the person and actually speak to them and let them know, hey, this is how I feel about the situation. Oh, then the healing can begin, because the healing comes from sharing. It doesn't come from trying to tell somebody else about that person and what they did to you. That's
good. I think that's so important. So let's talk directly to each other. Let's not Gossip needs to die. Shut the door to gossip. Unity is our core. If you have an issue, be mature. Go to someone in their face and say, you offended me. This hurt. And let's move on. This is how we shut the door to the enemy.
Yeah.
Last couple things. I hope this is helping you. If you're listening, is a sign of a unified team is failure produces improvement. Ooh. Failure can be a phenomenal teacher as long as we don't allow it to seduce us into thinking we can't win. That's Bill Gates. If you don't quit, failure isn't really failure. It's research.
Yeah.
I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways it won't work. So we're going to fail, and we're going to get, we call that one name. We're going to get better.
Yeah.
Every week there's going to get better. There's going to get better. What that means is we might have failed in order to get to that get better.
Yeah.
But unity is not like pointing a finger on going, oh, you messed up. It's going, hey, we're going to use this together. Let's come together. Sign of a divided team, failure creates an identity of defeat. And then the last thing is this. Hopefully that helps you. Is problems, sign of a unified team. Problems get solved quickly.
Yeah.
If quickly is the speed on a united team, then quickly is the pace at which problems get solved. United teams aren't crushed when problems arise.
Yeah.
I love this about our church because, we have teammates that are kind of just waiting for problems because they want to get it solved and they want to do it together because it just builds camaraderie. It builds unity. They recognize them for what they are, opportunities in disguise.
Yeah.
They don't wait around hoping their problems will go away. They come together and tackle them head on. Sign of a divided team, problems create more problems. So this is how we shut the door. This is how we come up against the enemy. This is how we fight and shut the door and make unity our core. Our team isn't perfect, but we have to work to stay united.
Yeah.
And it takes effort. We have to work at it constantly. It's not our natural tendency as humans to do this. We're going to get frustrated with each other. Tension's going to build as we elevate. It's going to get hard. We might want to isolate ourselves. But life in this community at One Name Church produces friction. It will produce this thing, but it can produce unity. It can be the greatest thing. Unity is powerful, and it's God's greatest desire as a church body and for his church. So we have to shut the door and make unity our core, just like Jesus said. And said John 17, John said the goals for all of us to become one heart, one mind, just as, like Pastor Miguel was saying, the Father in me and I in you, just like the Trinity. So they might be one heart, one mind with us. Then the world will believe us.
Yeah.
In fact, that we were sent by God. So they'll be unified. People will come and be a part of the church, our church at One Name, when we're unified. They'll say, I want to be a part of that. Those people are unified together. Those people are fighting together. Those people love each other. There's something different about them. It's because they shut the door in their 1 Corinthians 1:10. They live in harmony with one another, and there's no divisions in the church. Rather, it's one mind, united in thought and purpose. So we want to leave you with this is let's shut the door, make unity our core.
Amen.
And understand that how you can do this is you just got to have proximity to what's going on, especially as a servant leader. You're not around it all the time. You might be in toxicity. So in order to be around it, you got to get close to your leader.
Yeah.
You got to get close to the heart of the mission and the vision. How you do that is there's so many things that we have to equip you. It's always reminding yourself because the enemy wants to get in during the week. So on Sunday, we can be at each other's necks.
Yeah.
So let's shut the door and make unity our core.
Yeah.
And like Pastor Miguel said, let's be the watchman.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's watch that door.
Let's watch that door. This is the year of the door. So let's shut the demonic doorways. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening wherever you're tuning in at. This is a real faith conversation. Thank you, Pastor Miguel, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of great wisdom here. And be in tune for the next time. And we love you guys. Have a great day.